while tabbing out.
That would not be good. And hopefully the quality is okay.
So are they all on the server? Checking, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, they're joining quickly. Waiting for some Germans, I think.
Okay.
God save the king!
I'm joining in.
Oh, did you crash? Oh, you're joining the players.
No, I'm joining in.
Okay, we'll wait for everybody to get on their sides and we'll start talking about predicts and all that. Hope there isn't a server change, because there's actually been some problems with the servers 4, 5 and 6.
Is that so?
Yeah,
Why is there an S in the server name, by the way?
Server 4, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because like the first 3 says, or without the S.
Yeah, they're because servers 4, 5 and 6 are provided by Wilson, and he named them differently. And I'm banning his mark.
What?
God save the king!
Right there.
Toxic get hit.
Yeah.
I need to team kill Dark Hole.
That's only what you're here for. You're not even here to cast, you just want to
Exactly.
team kill Dark Core. Hello chat people.
Oh!
Oh, Chadman's here, so I forgot about this.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some split audience. Hey Chadman.
I can see we've got some Frenchies on the chat.
I wonder who got those here though, Chad. I wonder who got those here.
I don't know them. To be honest, I wouldn't give them the link because I think you'll see.
Oh, it's Frella, hello?
Oh, France there. Finally. The big bully.
He was supposed to be moderating tonight.
Damn, already 18 people. That's a lot.
Yep. Well, this is the biggest match of, I think, all the group stages so far, or maybe all of it to come as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it's the decider for first place in Group C. So basically both these teams have qualified for the playoffs, but this would determine their seeding from first and second place. Plus it's, you know, one of the rivalries, the constant top 4 teams, I think Netherlands and Germany could be included.
Yeah, I see. But it's definitely going to be the most interesting match of the bracket.
Yeah.
At this stage at least, but yeah. I think it's actually going to be like a super close match, and though I see slight advantage for the German team, but I don't want to speak too quickly.
I think the German team is more adaptable, and they could have the better team players, but we're going to see how this match ends up, because we've had, for example, players like Ziggy stepping up for the Team Netherlands in previous matches. Some rising stars definitely to see if they can perform in this match as well.
I guess we'll see.
Dren is like 10 times louder than me. Well, I'll try to fix it. Give me like 1 minute, Dren.
Yeah, I told you though.
How about now?
Maybe it's a bit better. Let me check.
Could be. Let's see if the chat goes nuts. Saved.
Hurrah for old Nosy!
Yeah, sound better. You could have like lowered me, but I can finally quit PUBG because those bunch niggas lost.
This is a family show, Dren. I'll let
Oh
say that.
yeah. I forgot about that.
Alright, I actually know what we're waiting for. Match should be starting now, but
I wouldn't want you to get by, you know, but I don't see Magera on the German side.
Scare isn't here. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't see him yet, but guess he's gonna come. Like, he's definitely one of their best players in that lineup. So
Yeah, he's been an important player for the 72nd when they were still around. I mean, definitely would be ashamed to have him miss him tonight.
and he has been performing quite well on the match we've been casting from the German team, the Turkish
Yeah.
Germany match, for instance, if I remember right.
So I'm thinking, Dren, if we're gonna be a caster duo, who do you want to be? For Anders and Semler.
Yeah, but
I think
you
I'm
don't
Semler.
my opinion. No, no. If that would be me, and you know it, Fluffy.
No, you're Anders because you have a British accent. And other reasons, which
Oh, like what?
I can't talk about that. Anyway, it looks like we're going live very closely here. Nope, one more reset.
At least no savage change.
Skyber, you're like the 20th person to make that joke.
But I think he was the first one to do it, like, wasn't he?
I don't know, I don't have intellectual copyright over jokes.
You should.
Not the thought police here from the internet. That's for the FSC people to take care of. Anyways. Looks like everybody spawned in now. We're going to be playing 8v8 obviously, since these teams don't have any attendance problems. Actually, okay, let's have a look at the lineup. Gonna have a German flank on the left of Wolpe and Mosquito. And this is going to be the aggressive one, I'm guessing. For me, Mosquito is one of the most consistent group fighters, not just from Germany, but from the whole community as of recent. Whereas Wolpe is, you could say, inconsistent, but when he shows up, he's a heavy hitter, great aggressive player to have. On the other German flank, we have Phoenix and Felix. Definitely going to be a bit more cancer, a bit more defensive, passive play styles, trying to let the other flank do the work.
But talking about Wolpe, he has been pretty strong on the last few tournaments, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's a player who has that level of skill, mechanical ability.
I'm curious to see what flank with him and Mosquito could do, because if I'm not wrong, from the last match we saw, Mosquito was playing with Noswill.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing with him as well. He's in third position, if I'm not wrong, but it's still a bit surprising not to see him playing with him.
It is to some extent.
In the community
Yeah,
now.
but Mosquito and Wolpe play together in chimps on the flank, so they definitely have that experience together and can work on quick 2v1s.
Keep in mind, though, that the addition of Mosquito to the Chimps team is quite recent. So, I mean, I understand the way that they play together in Nation Cup as well, but it's not like they have as much experience together as Mosquito and Noswell, who played plenty of tournaments together.
That's true. But they're still on the flank together, like, you know, the three main flankers, so definitely still working together, they have that synergy. Anyway, for the Dutch flank then we have Ricky and Ismar on their left. It's going to be the aggressors there. Ricky, one of the most aggressive players, just going in with the feint, trying to make some ground, get some kills. Whereas Quixer and Charlie going to be a bit more measured, backing away from the aggressive German flank with Wolpe and Mosquito. And we're still waiting for the first go.
And Ricky have been playing quite well on the last match we saw, like against Turkey especially. I remember him with Isma on the same flank again, and they played like really weird against Reb and Beck, which determinedly failed to do on their flank, because even though they won, I remember them having some difficulty facing Beck and Rebel. So I'll go for C.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of the same style of aggressive players, so you have to be prepared for those. And you already see actually the defensive, or the weaker German flank, you could say, is pushing. Ricky failing to get the first kill, and they're being pushed back into the corner here. Netherlands unable to push through the right at all. They're getting kind of surrounded, and here you can see getting wiped up by the Germans.
I guess Ricky was surprised by the sudden aggressivity from the right flank, since he probably thought they're going to play passive on that flank, since that's what they tried to do on the beginning of the run, but he managed to surprise him, and that was a good pick from the German side.
Yeah, well, one thing that Ricky's going to have to be focusing on here is the pacing, and I think the same applies for Wolpe, because he's a very temperamental player, and if it doesn't go that way he can get overzealous quickly. And the same thing with Ricky, who sometimes can even go in alone if his teammate doesn't get there in time, and can make oftentimes risky plays that don't work out, as you can see already happened.
So you better watch out for that. And in that situation it was quite unlucky. I think it was just, you know...
Anyway, let's have a look at the Ricky flank again.
Yep. It's Phoenix and... Felix against him. Yeah, but Phoenix as well.
Yeah, Phoenix and Felix.
Yeah, that's going to be confusing, isn't it?
And actually you can see the flanks aren't pushing so much, although Germans get equal flank picks. And once again, splitting up, the Dutch people lose their formation, going into 1v2.
I like how the German right flank is playing right now. They're not being overly aggressive but not passive, they're just waiting for the right moment to take a pick.
Yeah, it's timely aggression, which is something that Mosquito's good at, and it's definitely... I don't know who's in-game leading for Germany, but they're making the calls not to be over-aggressive, and it's working out so far. They're playing the patience picks on both flanks. My bet would be Darko. He's probably the mastermind behind this team. Yeah, Darko is making the calls. He's at the bottom of the scoreboard, so he's definitely in-game leading.
Yeah, it's probably that one. It's known as German existence, you know.
And so far the Dutch team isn't making any changes to their flanks, which is understandable, since you could argue that those first picks were unlucky. They weren't due to any particular mistakes, which a flank swap could fix. So they just have to try to go for these first picks this time on their side.
They need to be patient on... Oh,
yeah, as you can see there, both left flanks of either team are pushing. So far, the trade's going in favor of the Dutch team. They need to mop up these 2v1s quickly. They've done that successfully. Nice job by Smart staying alive long enough, even though he died in the end. The Dutch team still has the advantage here in a 5v3.
Ooh.
It's good group fighting skill by Mosquito there to bait out the stab onto the block.
It is, but it was a bit too risky on the NL side. I mean,
they're throwing this round so far.
They are. They're going back one by one.
There's zero group fighting right now from Team Netherlands, whereas Mosquito just did the perfect group fighting basics there, baiting off of his teammates.
Yep.
And he gets, what is that, 5 kills? Yeah, 5 kills in that round. Very
impressive. Definitely the nice time to shop for Mosquito, and he proved himself as one of the Germany carry. But it was really poor round in the NL side in terms of team play, because Ismail did a very good job in the opening on the left and delaying those two guys, and they should have played a bit more together and not giving away kills that easily, just staying alone on the right side like Quizzer did. I think it was a bit of a shame.
They did everything right, even the regrouping at the end. They still ended up in a 3v5, 3v6, but you can see how they threw it by taking individual fights and not being there to get the trade frags at all.
Yep, definitely.
So we can see both flanks pushing, and actually the first pick on the German left here for the Netherlands. And they're mopping up this right side nicely now. They need to stay alive on the left, not get overpowered. Ziggy and
Ricky needs to be passing last
yeah. Once again, the 3v5 advantage, 2v6. This shouldn't be throwable, although you've seen what happened last round.
Yeah.
But now nicely mopped up.
Oh, this one was well done.
Ooh. Team kill isn't going to mean much in the grand scheme of things, and Netherlands get their first round.
It's nice to see that they pretty much learned from the last round and didn't repeat the same mistake. And that's what you expect from such a high-level team as the NL1.
Yeah, this is, compared to some of the matches that we've casted before, teams where you can't really say there's a weak link, and they have an array of players which they can swap out throughout positions and not really have much downside to it, compared to, you know, when we casted Turkey and they had to have a weak flank, whereas here it's deliberate. You know, you put your preferred players on the aggressive flank, put your preferred defensive players on the defensive flank. You don't have to worry about team skill.
And they definitely have a lot more experience as a team, because for instance Team NL is also playing a lot of tournaments just like that with similar rosters, and you can probably fill in a lot of moves to versus one on top.
Meanwhile, Germany's won their left flank again. Unlucky team kill by Quixter there. And Dutch need to finish up these guys towards the fence, but they're not going to manage. Getting mopped up here, the round's going to go to Germany.
Yeah, Germany definitely have some better flank they can rely on, especially on the right one, which is I thought it would be the passive flank, but actually managing to put a very strong fight against Ismail and Ricky, and most of the time winning.
Well, it's actually important to mention that Phoenix and actually I'm not sure if Felix has Chimps experience, but in other teams certainly, besides Chimps, these guys have played together. So there's the experience just between the duos as well, which allows them to, you know, play those 2v1s, 2v2s. Not to mention the synergy on the team as a whole. Although this German team is kind of a mixture. You haven't really seen some of these players in past tournaments. I think the Dutch team has more older players.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be an advantage so far, as actually the Dutch take the first picks on the left. Germany retaliates 2 trade frags on the right. And now they just need to regroup. Finish this 2v1, it's good backstab. Ooh, should have been a kill though. This could cost them around, need to kill this one guy. It's Lawrence, and they do. Now it's an advantage for the Netherlands. 3v6, where have we seen this before? See if they treat this differently. Yeah, Ismar, once again, getting isolated.
They need to kill that guy. Yeah, good job.
Ismar pointlessly gets isolated in a 1v2 there, but luckily his team gets the trade kills on the remaining German players, so it's not that much of a big deal.
Yeah, especially since it was such a superiority in terms of numbers. But I think we saw a very nice run on Melcio and Ricky's side. I don't know if you saw the first pick that Ricky tried to do on the third guy, even though he was on the far left. And he managed to stun him for Melcio to kill him, and then Melcio managed to get some, if I'm not wrong, 2 overkill from that, and it was actually an amazing run on his side.
Yeah, it was good knowledge of when to push and make that aggressive play, since they had the disadvantage from that round.
Yeah,
and
I think Ricky managed to put his disadvantage the, let's say, passive-aggressive playstyle of the right German flank.
Definitely if Germany's doing some reading into Ricky though, he's been doing a similar playstyle for so long of his playing career that, you know, he likes to cut across one player, you know, do a body feint into the player next to him, trying to make those blocks go down, and Germany's ready for it, not really falling for his body feints.
Yeah, most of the time. And again, the German left flank is just smashing.
The German left flank is winning, whereas the Dutch left flank is just holding, not really making those entries that are needed to make a balanced push on either side.
Yeah, general right flank need to be maybe a bit more solid, I don't know, but it's hard to do against such players, Mosquito and Volpe.
Well, one way to play against Mosquito and Volpe is to play really cancer, and I mean by that just waiting for their mistakes, because eventually one of them is going to overpush. As long as you don't get traded into like a bait situation, then it should be fine to hold out, as the Dutch left flank isn't having so many problems, I would say, as the right is.
Yep.
And we also saw 2 swaps happen last round, one on each side, where Pierce jumped in for the Netherlands, and he's definitely been a very solid player in recent times. He's one of those guys that can just hold his own. He's good blocking, good team playing. Kazazar jumps in for Germany, yeah. He's one of the captains this year, and nice pick from Ricky there. Felix gets caught napping. Netherlands pushing this left flank, getting the entries required. Mosquito and some lucky team kill. Rickert has to stay alive here, although his teammates are getting kills now. Only 2 more guys. Good blocking. Really nice blocking there from Rick.
That was an unfortunate team kill for Mosquito, because that pretty hard fight, and Wolpe just managed to kill his opponent and was team killed.
Yeah, they did good
In the
progress in retaliation to Netherlands winning the other flank, but that team kill meant that instead of 3 guys running victorious out of that side, it was just ending with Mosquito and I think Noswil running out, and 2 people isn't enough to reinforce when Germany lost 3 or 4 people on the other flank already.
Definitely. We can see again, very aggressive on the left, and it's working. Wolpe just managed to get a nice kill.
Pushing very far, very quickly.
And they show a good team play.
But meanwhile, this left flank is winning again for the Netherlands. 2v1, fast enough, well done. And now they should regroup. Yeah. Germany didn't play this round together at all. Once those first picks happened, they split up on the German left. Entered into a series of 1v1s, 1v2s, and you can see how they quickly ended up dying.
An amazing triple kill for Isma on the left flank, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it was a nice cleanup, and this means that the Netherlands have picked up 3 rounds in a row, I think, or at least the score was 4-1 at one point, so they're definitely stringing rounds together now. And
creating a bit of momentum, you know?
And
some people would argue about there's not such thing.
I don't know if this is a momentum-based game. Like, you could make the argument either way, but it's not where, you know, there's other aspects to the games, like the rounds are independent of each other, so that's why I don't think momentum's really a thing.
No, yeah, that's true. I mean, I agree in that part, in definition of momentum, but I still think that winning a few rounds in a streak just give you a
yeah, there's definitely a mentality kind of side to it.
Edge. Psychological edge.
Alright, and once again, same flanks pushing, yep. Nice pick by Ismar. Oh, that's pretty fast here. Whereas the Dutch right is just blocking. They're pushed back into their spawn and they're still blocking. And what this achieved is that they stayed alive, and Mosquito and Wolpe couldn't get any picks since they were just blocking. And that's sometimes a strategy that works, as long as you can rely on your other flank to get some work done, and they did.
That's the problem with the German right flank. I mean, even though they on the first few rounds they managed to put a good fight and kill Ricky and Isma, if things go wrong and they're not backing quickly enough, the left flank of the German team has not enough time to make the difference, and the Dutch team just showed that a passive right flank is enough to counter them.
Yeah, what happens with the German flank with Phoenix and Felix is that they back off not towards their team usually, or for what I've seen at least in some rounds, and they end up kind of getting just picked, and the German team can't do anything about it since they're not consistently in a line.
Oh, that was a swap flank, but...
Yeah, we have a flank swap here from Germany.
But why did they came back though? German team was ready.
Oh, Spec said not ready at the last second, whereas Krell already said go, so called them back. Alright, so...
That's unfortunate, because it's a nice thing to do actually in a match like that, to swap flank in the start.
The thing is though, the Dutch team countered this by swapping their flanks as well. They have definitely people in Spec telling them about potential flank swaps, and as you can see, it's the same people playing against each other once again. And Netherlands winning their left flank this time, which is what you would consider the non-aggressive flank. The one without Ismar, but they're getting the picks, wrapping up these 2v1s.
But that's some really well played run on the...
Excellent 6v1 there from Team Netherlands.
I saw some fists there, but isn't there a rule against it?
I'm not sure actually. I know in RGO there was a meme about not using fists and people winning rounds void, but don't think it's an actual rule.
Okay. But anyway, the ref probably saw it, so if there was a rule he would have intervened.
We actually have Quixer jump out for Team Netherlands, and Nero took his place, or...
Just right now?
No, a couple of rounds ago. You didn't notice, he's on the defensive flank, along with Pierce now. So these are 2 guys that have spawned in newly into this match. And they're doing a pretty good job of staying alive versus Wolpe and Mosquito. Although, meanwhile, Germany gets to pick on the opposing flank.
Yeah, but passive aggressive.
And now the
to
Dutch
get a
team,
kill that kind of has
yeah, now they're getting pushed once again into a corner. Not even a corner, but just getting surrounded. Gotta watch their backs. Good kill by Ziggy, but it might not be enough.
That was a nice kill from Sandpaying. He was being cornered and managed to kill some guy, and I think he gave an edge to his team with that movement.
We've complimented the German team on their team play, but I'm seeing also a lot of spamming at some points, and it's kind of an instinct to do when the fights get into this kind of scenario where you're splitting up a bit, you're clumping up, and you just want to spin a bit and spam. And it can work obviously, but it's not a good group fighting fundamental, especially since Germany isn't the one that's outnumbered, and they don't really have to spam.
Especially in late group fight, you're not used to see people spinning around and doing down stab like it was before, you know, and sometimes it can surprise the opposite team, you know. But in terms of team play, I think it's more up to who's playing, you know, because like we saw some really nice move between Felix and
Ooh, look at those
Phoenix. Oh yeah, it was nice. Oh, even Mosquito and Warpy, and quick 2 vs 1 and stuff.
Trades were going even at the start there, but Mosquito with the big 3k there evens it up, but actually 2 quick returns from Netherlands. It's 2v3, definitely winnable.
Mosquito definitely showing some nice fragging power on that match.
Yeah, Mosquito. Oh!
And team killing power.
Mosquito's killing everyone apparently. He's like the German rebellious, it would seem.
Yeah,
right, Netherlands just need to chill out, do that 2v1 properly, and yeah, they take the round off of an unfavorable situation.
It is quite unfortunate because if I'm not wrong, it's the 3rd team kill from Mosquito, and on that round he was.
Yeah,
really
he's team killed Wolpe in the past, and I think one more person.
But you definitely gave him the round on this one.
They're still playing well together, like, you can't deny that. They're winning their flank most of the time, getting the entries you can see top of the scoreboard. But it hasn't been enough in some of these rounds.
Yeah, they need to watch out for the team kills.
Right, so let's see if they can manage to get some kills against this flank of Nero and Pierce. As you can see, Pierce and Nero, they're ready to get those blocks up, not getting baited into the body feints. As you can see, meanwhile the Dutch right flank is pushed, as Mosquito and Wolpe don't want to take pointless risks. Oh, team kill. Shouldn't change around.
Oh. Nice ping from Milster again. Bring the edge to his team.
I'm definitely liking how players like Ziggy, Nero and Pierce are playing this match, where they know they're against the aggressive players who need to get those entries, and they just always have that block ready. Because sometimes it's better to stay alive than to get the kill, especially when you know your team can make progress elsewhere.
I'm gonna send off topic for a sec, but it's quite important. I'm gonna send you something on Steam if you can check in a few seconds.
Alright.
Für das Vaterland! Auf geht's, Kameraden!
Anyway, we still have the same flanks here from both teams. It's once again Mosquito and Wolpe. Not being too aggressive, just trying to find that first pick. Once again, I was going to mention this point earlier, that Mosquito and Wolpe could become players that are so calculated, you know, waiting for the opponent's mistake sometimes, that it ends up with them not pushing enough, because they don't want to take a risk sometimes. They're the sort of players who want to be sure they can get the kill, and that could be at the detriment of not pushing enough and not making enough ground. But luckily they win that round, as Netherlands managed to push that right flank into the spawn but didn't get the entries, and Germany finished up that round.
So yeah, 7-8 quite close as we expected it. But
Netherlands are in the lead though, and I'm gonna be honest, I thought Germany was the favorite to take this match, but we're basically halfway through the match right now and it could still go either way. It's very close. And also is doing work for the Netherlands, though. He's been getting so many kills in the past rounds. If you look at the kill feed, actually not past rounds, but the rounds before that, definitely won 3 or 4 rounds for the Dutch team. Once again, Dutch team winning that right flank. As per last round, Ismar 2 huge kills, 3 kills, and they're mopping up really quickly. Rick used to drop his block and just run, and he's doing exactly that. It's a 4v3 situation now. 5v3, excuse me. That's an unfortunate side block from Ismar. As Mosquito once again, huge kills. It's a bit unlucky from Ismar, from Ziggy there, where he could have gotten the backstab but ended up with the poke, and Germany shouldn't have won that round, but they do it in the end.
And bringing that back to 8-8.
There's 8 joke here somewhere, but we're not going to make it because we're professional streamers.
Oh,
Especially with Germany playing.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
I just got fired.
And you accused me to dropping an M-bomb in the beginning, so... I find that a bit ironic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're not Anders, you're Sadokist. Anyways, once again, Dutch right flank. It's a constant story right now. They just keep on winning this flank. Felix and Scorpion have been playing together for the past so many rounds, and it's not working out.
Yeah, I need to change something on that flank, definitely.
Alright, so they've actually split up into 2 groups here. This is quite curious. But the Dutch team comes out on top in both engagements.
Well, that kind of thing can happen in open melee, though.
Yeah, it
fun,
happens
usually.
when you push towards the spawns and you kind of just isolate there. Because, you know, once one team's pushing to the spawn, it's the job of the players against them to keep on sticking to them, and wherever it takes them, they'll go there. So they ended up in two spawn points. Or not the spawn points, the lines.
I think we can expect some changement, some rotation on some of the German flank, maybe.
Seems the same
Right?
so far. Yeah, they're not really changing much. I don't think there's a problem with the Wolpy Mosquito flank, but they should look into this middle and the left. Perhaps even a swap of the middle and the left, since the Dutch middle isn't doing much, like too much aggressive stuff to warrant having a strong middle. You can see the right side here is split off once again. They're splitting into 2 group fights, and the Dutch team comes out on top by a factor of 1 so far. Difference of 1.
Again, splitting in 2 parts.
Yeah, and Ubis here should back away into his team. I think Ricky can just stay alive, and oh, that's the perfect thing he could have done there. And better than staying alive, he's getting the kill on Felix, who wasn't blocking. Didn't expect Ricky to stab there. That was a nice move by Ricky.
Hurrah for Rome, Britannia!
Sorry if I'm not, like, spitting a lot. I've just been talking on the stream a bit. Sorry.
I understand there's more important things than just the best match of the group stage trend. It's understandable.
But it was related to the match, that's why.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
I think Germany has a serious formation problem, actually, because this splitting up is working out for the Dutch players, who are, I think, more aggressive from what I've seen so far on either flank, and it's working out for them so far. As Germany isn't handling the aggression properly by keeping the line and just baiting out the stabs from the aggression, playing defensive cancer, you know?
Yeah, but I think we can also see that there's not as much phases in the middle, not as much as in other kind of tournament, you know? Because like most of the work are done in the flank, and I see very few open kill on middle, for instance, and I think it's quite unusual with the late meter of the game, and maybe they could try something towards it. Putting some good people on middle and try to see if they can do some open kill there.
Yeah, we can see Germany isn't changing anything except swapping the flanks to what they were in the initial rounds.
Fucking and country!
Yeah, Phoenix is actually playing middle now. He was playing on the left flank, not so...
Oh, that team kill.
followed by
Mosquito with 4 or 5 team kills this match.
Yeah.
But once again...
Almost every time a team kills someone.
Yeah, look at this Dutch left. This is actually amazing.
It is.
Lawrence and all the other guys on the left isn't working out. There needs to be a change right now, as Netherlands are getting very close to winning this match.
Definitely. I think, to me, Fono, and the problem is not only on that match, but we saw it a bit if you remember, on the match from Germany against Turkey, is the lack of adaptation of the German team. And I really think it's a problem for them. They don't move much thing around and don't try a different setup when things are not going well. And even though they won against Turkey team, we saw a few rounds, I think they could have improved, they didn't do. And they really need to change that if they want to be able to compete against the better team of the tournament. Even though they're one of them, but still, I think at this level you need to be able to adapt.
Hurrah for old Nosy!
And Mosquito need to watch out for those team kills. See, Flammy says he just went in, replacing Darko, if I'm not wrong, or Kaza. Yeah, Kaza, I think, which was middle. Oh, the other team is getting like.
Yeah, so it had a thing to do with Mosquito. Again, 2 huge picks, pushing those flanks. Netherlands here, a 1-man disadvantage. They have a bit of a mess of a fight here in the middle. Could get some picks, even the south. But they get isolated. And that's just Maso in a 1v4.
That's a nice one from the German team. They managed to corner him quite early on the run and used it properly to get quick open kills. And they really need to aim to do stuff like that if they want to win that. I mean, more rounds.
Yeah, but you're speaking well of the opening kills, but it's once again Mosquito, and it's not like he has been doing anything wrong this match. He's on 26 kills here so far. Huge hitter for Germany. And they won that round because the Dutch left flank couldn't do anything. Meanwhile, they lost their right. So it's just one of those rounds where you just don't get the picks, things don't go your way on a certain flank, and you lose the rest. Definitely unlucky, I think, for the Dutch team. They didn't do anything wrong there, just didn't get the first picks and they got cornered.
Again, as you can see, the middle is being quite passive and both.
Yeah, they're barely even stabbing each other in the middle, it's kind of just going into the air a bit there. We've got some stabs. Dutch middle needs to watch out here. It's once again Wolpe. Actually, he's not playing with Mosquito anymore.
They moved?
Yeah, it seems Flammy's playing Wolpe.
Okay. And where is playing Mosquito? Is he middle or on the flank?
Mosquito's on the other flank with Felix here, so there's actually been a swap here, which we didn't talk about or didn't notice.
Oh, well.
This is perhaps why Germany has 2 equally balanced flanks, I think, now, or more so, as Mosquito is able to provide that, providing stability.
I'm not sure it's the best way to play against that NL team. I mean, to me, and I want to talk about this again, but I think there's something to do about the middle there. And especially for German team, they would be able to put some strong player middle. Evan Mosquito, I saw him playing on 2 tournaments middle, and doing quite a good job. I wonder what I could do, especially since there's a lot of a team like England or even France that play a lot around middle with a player like Extras, for instance, for France, and I wonder how that would work for Germany.
Well, I think Germany has an okay middle so far, but they're not really doing anything with it. Yeah, you're right. Like, they have a Noswell middle, which is a very strong player who could definitely make some plays, but as we've said before, he's played with Mosquito a lot in the past, and he's kind of playing alone in the middle right now. So he's definitely not able to make risky plays. Mosquito, once again. 2 entry frags. Dutch left needs to push.
That's a very good job.
They don't manage to counter push.
Mosquito is definitely carrying his
Mosquito's MVP for sure, at least right now. You never know if somebody else could step up and win these last 4 rounds for their team.
No, that's true, but he's still giving his team like a lot of weapon kills. And even I mean, even when he does some team kill that on the run we saw, he managed to get refrag and kills after it quite quickly, so it's not as bad as it can be. But
yeah, it's the philosophy of it's okay if you team kill as long as you get 2 more kills. We say in our team.
Oh yeah.
And you make it worth it somehow, then it's all okay in the end.
It's not okay to team kill anyway.
Well, it's okay if you team kill somebody like Dren, obviously. Take the words, wisdom.
Why is that supposed to be?
It's ambiguous. Alright, anyway. 11-11 now, we're all tied up. It is 1st to 15 format, so this match is going to be tight until the very end. The last round is going to decide it. You never know who's going to win, like with a best of 20 or best of format in general. And actually, it's a cleanup here, evening out the trades by the Dutch team.
Let's get from
It's a
Ricky.
good 2v1. It's a good job by Pearson Rickard here to back off from that fight and regroup with their teammates. So we end up in a 4v4 situation.
Oh, Ricky exposing himself.
He's getting ice. Yeah, that was
Oh, no.
a horrible play by Ricky.
He was a bad move on his side. Melchior did the same quite before, just before if I'm not wrong. And they're definitely giving Germany some run with that kind of move. Even though, I mean, you could argue that when doing such thing, your teammate could use the opportunity to get backstabs, but they didn't that part, and
He was just alone there with nothing
it was
redeeming happening on any other part of the fight. And
You could
it's
do it
just
if you have some teammate around.
yeah, no, but I think it's just a mistake, and we've seen this. This isn't the first round where the Dutch team is in a situation like that, or even they have the advantage and they don't play together.
Like a team plan versus kind of round.
I don't know if it's nerves or what it could be, but definitely a huge misplay as
I don't know.
German team
I mean,
gets a 12th round.
Ricky's pretty used to play tournaments, so I hardly see him choking with that kind of event.
We see Quixer jumps back in. Let's see where he's stepping into. He's on the left. Playing with Pierce here. They're slowly getting pushed. Actually, they're trying to regain ground here.
Oh,
And meanwhile, yeah, Phoenix. Once again, 2 entry kills. It's the Dutch team. Now's the point when they want to start spamming a bit and get some kills, but it's not working out.
quickly finishing their opponent. Actually, German team look like they woke up a bit and putting some more on their side, and it's nice to see. That's what we would expect with such a strong team.
Definitely looked like the Dutch team figured out a way to steal some rounds from this match, but the German team made some roster changes, or sorry, lineup changes in the match. Like we said, they put Felix with Mosquito, and it seems to be working out so far, as so lets the other flank with Volpe be aggressive as well. Go for those first picks, and we've seen it on both flanks making entries on various rounds.
Yeah, it's nice to see that they actually managed to adapt to that lineup and prove us wrong on the adaptation part. I mean, prove me wrong on that side because you didn't say anything, but still.
I'm a bit disappointed by Ricky's performance. He's 8 to 15 right now, and I remember him making only like a handful of opening kills, and besides that he hasn't really been doing much.
To be honest,
silly plays, to be honest.
To be fair, he has been doing some nice moves as well, even though he's not carrying his team and did some...
He's providing openings. If you watch him on a flank, his movement is allowing sometimes to, you know, get that first pick off of his teammate.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been enough.
Yeah, it's not enough, I agree on that, but it's not...
And this is one of the first times, we actually see a pick on the middle here by Ziggy. As this creates a bit of a situation. The German middle is weak and the Dutch pushing from the right. Once again, Ricky falls. A bit over aggressive there on the right, gets caught by Felix.
It's a bit unlikely because they allowed them to get a refrag for the middle pick.
Now it's going to be a bit of a rotation. Germany's going to push the left, Netherlands going to push their left. Now they're just waiting for the first pick to happen. Let's see who gets impatient first or who lets their block down. So I need to watch the formation here, and Wolpe gets the first pick on Quixer. Nice trades on the right. Netherlands should regroup now. Shouldn't be getting split up. Yeah, I was about to say, as long as they don't get caught out, which is exactly what Ziggy just did, they could win this round.
Oh,
They're
this one
starting
is
it.
just going up and down.
It's still winnable now, but the Netherlands threw the advantage what they had from earlier in the round. Melcio going for a play behind the line, but there's no teammates to support him. Gets blocked. And it's 14-11. I wouldn't have predicted this finish, but Germany's really regrouped and redefined how they're playing this match so far, which led them to win. It hasn't been like a streak of 6 rounds, or am I wrong? Because it was 9-11.
On the German side? I think it is, yeah. It was
rounds, yeah.
11-9.
Or even 8
And not
9-11.
9-11.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm just thinking about edgy things today.
Yeah, you really want to get back on, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's nice to see that the German team is able to put a good fight like that. To come back from...
Yeah, a lot of it came down to Dutch
cool.
mistakes though, you have to admit, because the Dutch team hasn't had problems in many rounds, you know, getting those entry frags, and they're just pushing pointlessly at some points, individually, trying to make plays. You can see what it's costing them.
To be fair, you can't see that on both sides on certain rounds. Like on the last one, for instance, Mosquito and Oswald dying straight away after... I think he was Phoenix? No, Wolpe, who managed to get an open kill on the other side, but still both died in an unfortunate way.
You're correct that it's on both sides, but the important part here is that it's actually winning rounds for Germany, whereas Netherlands are stuck with 11, and that's the important part. The score could definitely be much closer right now.
It could,
From
yeah.
the rounds that we've seen, I can remember a handful already that were thrown away by the Dutch team in outnumbered situations.
Especially on the way, like, there's a lot of fun when the Dutch player would just go away alone and die with refrag and putting their team in disadvantage, you know, and we've seen that a few rounds, and it is a bad side for their team.
Yeah, Skyper is saying in the chat that a lot of the Dutch players are too shy to step in for their teammates when they're stabbing, and they just kind of end up S-keying. I don't know if it's shyness, but there definitely is exactly what he's describing. You know, they're letting their teammates do plays without backing them up, just kind of just hanging around. And sometimes the worst thing that can happen is when you just stand behind your teammate and you don't do anything with it.
Wolpe with
you should have
range kill again on the right.
Dutch team getting pushed into the right side here, and I think it's all over Dren.
I think it is.
Wait up. Nah, Phoenix with 2 nice kills there to even it back out. And there we go. Definitely a shame to see the Dutch team falter towards the end of the match there, but I think Germany adapted well. It's been a lot of mistakes from the Netherlands, round costing mistakes, and although they're going to be disappointed with this result, definitely could have won it. It still means they end up top of their groups. Top 2 of their groups, so they should be advancing to the next bracket, as Germany is, I believe, the 3rd team in Group C. Germany-Turkey, which got defeated by both Germany and the Netherlands here. So they've definitely secured their spots.
But, to be honest, even though they managed to adapt at the end, I still think that they should have done such change way before and could have won a few more rounds. I'm talking about the German side.
Yeah, there were rounds where that flank of various combinations of Felix, Phoenix, and who else was it? Somebody else. Basically losing every round to the Dutch team. So many rounds in a row were strung together there by the Dutch team. Just because of that weak flank which wasn't adapting. Anyway, is there anything else to say, Dren?
No, apart from the fact that it was a very interesting match.
This was one of the better matches we've seen so far. Actually not one of the closest, as I expected. The Ukraine-Ireland match was 13-15. But this one, arguably better display of overall skill across the line. Could definitely see how that played out.
Definitely great job on Mosquito's side, and Wolpe as well. I mean, I'm not sure, I think this call was reset during the match because I saw him with 11-0 at the end, and obviously it's not possible, but he did a pretty nice job on his flank and managed to get a lot of open kill with his wrench, and same as Mosquito doing it.
Definitely the 2 players to acknowledge it. Also Phoenix towards the end, stepping up big time.
Yeah, and on that triple kill especially.
On the other hand, for the Dutch team, Ismar making some pretty huge kills. Ziggy was doing a good middle there, denying the German team to do much.
And don't forget about Malcio.
Malcio, obviously, he was the one who was top fragging in the end, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he
so
was.
definitely getting those important
He showed
kills.
it as soon as he came in, because if I'm not wrong, he wasn't there in the starting of the match, but on the very first one he came, he just managed to get an open kill with Ricky, and follow up by a triple kill, and yeah, it was very nice to see. He played very well in that match as well. And the MVP for me was definitely Mosquito on that one.
I am gonna agree with you there,
Single.
yep. Yeah, especially with those team scores even higher. Also, one final note before we end up this stream. Disappointed that Dark Horse didn't top frag, but I guess you can't be the best every day.
Yeah, I mean, when you're mastermind of such a team, you can't frag and do all the tactic and stuff, you know, so we have to be understanding towards that.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and there should be some more interesting matches left from the group stages. There's, I believe, 2 more matches to be played from all the groups except for Group D, so we'll be looking to stream those, and see you guys later.